Aldnoah.Zero is a mecha anime television series created by Olympus Knights and A1 Pictures, that began July 2014. The director is Aoki and the original creator is listed as General Urobuchi, both of whom had previously collaborated on Fate Zero. Katsuhiko Takayama is in charge of writing the scripts for the series. Hiroyuki Sawano composes the music and Califina is credited with performing the opening theme song. The main cast was announced by Aoki at Anime Japan on March 22, 2014. Aniplex of America has licensed the series for a streamed simulcast beginning in July. It will be broadcast on Tokyo MX, BS11, Asahi Broadcasting Corporation, Gunma TV and ATX in Japan, with streaming available on Nico Nico Douga. It was also streamed in Australia by Hanabi. Plot: in 1972, an ancient alien hypergate was discovered on the surface of the Moon. Using this technology, humanity began migrating to Mars and settling there. After settlers discovered additional advanced technology, the Viz Empire was founded, which claimed Mars and its secrets for themselves. Later, the Viz Empire declared war on Earth, and in 1999, a battle on the Moon's surface caused the hypergate to explode, shattering the Moon and scattering remnants into a debris belt around the planet. Cut off from Mars, the remnants of the Viz Empire established several massive orbital space stations within the debris belt and a ceasefire was established. 15 years later, in 2014, an attack on the Viz Princess during a peace mission causes the Empire to launch a new attack on Earth, this time determined to conquer it once and for all. Production: Aldnoah.Zero was announced on February 15, 2014, as a project headed by Nitro Plus, with animation by A1 Pictures and Troika. It was created by General Urobuchi and is directed by Aoki with mechanical designs by Kenji Teraoka, characters by Masako Matsumoto and designs by Takako Shimura. Katsuhiko Takayama acts as the series composer. The music will be done by Hiroyuki Sawano. The opening theme song is Heavenly Blue performed by Califina, whilst the ending theme from Episode 2 onwards is AZ by Hiroyuki Sawano and Mizuki, with the exception of Episodes 4, 7, and 8, in which the ending theme is Alias by Hiroyuki Sawano and Mizuki. Aldnoah.Zero's production committee, Project AZ, consists of Aniplex, Hubuncha, Tokyo MX, Nippon BS Broadcasting, Asahi Broadcasting Corporation, MAGES, Nitroplus and Movic. Characters: main characters, Inoho Keizuka, voiced by Natsuki Hani, a high school student on Earth. Ever since the death of his parents, he has been living together with his older sister. He is characterized by his emotionless, stoic demeanor, and is capable of coming up with tactics to defeat the Martian Knights, even within the heat of battle. Inoho also has a peculiar interest in various ways of preparing eggs. Slain Troyard, voiced by Kensha Ono, a Terran living on a Martian ship orbiting Earth under the observation of a Mars Knight, and a close friend of Princess Asylum. He and his now-deceased father were saved by her 5 years prior to the beginning of the story. It is hinted at that he has feelings for the princess. Asylum Vizaluzia, voiced by Sora Amamura, the princess of the Viz Empire. She is very close to Slain. She went to Earth on a goodwill visit, but her motorcade was attacked and she was presumed to have died. This assassination was used by the orbiting Martians as a casus belli for their invasion. However, the princess was ill that day and the person who died was a body double. Asylum now travels with Inoho's group under a false identity until they can get a message back to her grandfather in hopes of stopping the rekindled war. United Forces of Earth, Inko Amifumi, voiced by Mikako Komatsu, Inoho's childhood friend and fellow high school classmate. She is a member of the Student Council Committee. Ryota Rish, voiced by Sakaga Mizuwa, a girl from Shinawara. Her father was one of a few Martians who were stranded on Earth after the previous war. They carried out the assassination attempt in exchange for the promise of extraction back to Mars and knighthood under the Viz Empire. Ryota witnessed Trilram murder her father and fellow conspirators to keep them quiet and, after Yuki rescued her, swore vengeance on the Martians. Calm Craftman, voiced by Tashi Murata, Inaho's friend and classmate. He comes from a country that was severely affected by Heaven's fall. Despite the name, he is actually very loud and jovial, though he swears vengeance on all Martians after a knight kills his friend. Nina Klein, voiced by Ikakuma, Inko's best friend who is also in Inaho's class. She comes from the same country as Calm that was severely affected by Heaven's fall. Oksuke Makuni, voiced by Yoshitaka Yamaya, Inaho's friend and classmate. His friends call him Okojo. He is killed while trying to save Yuki from Trilrum. Kisaki Matsurabe, voiced by Kengo Kornishi, a Shinawara High student who is Inaho's senior, and one of the volunteers for Lieutenant Marito's rescue crew. Yatara Tsumugi, voiced by Zama Sato, a Shinawara High student who is Inaho's senior, and one of the volunteers for Lieutenant Marito's rescue crew. Yuki Keizuka, voiced by Sayaka Owara, Inaho's older sister and a warrant officer in the United Forces of Earth. She is capable of piloting a cataphract into battle and has helped train students at the academy. Koichiro Marito, voiced by Kazuya Nakai, a lieutenant in the United Forces of Earth. He, along with Yuki, is currently a training instructor at the high school Inaho attends, but is also a veteran of the War of 1999, and witnessed firsthand the power of the Aldnoah. Despite reporting what happened 15 years ago before the Heavens fall, the governments on Earth refused to make public that knowledge, as it showed how outpowered the Earth's forces truly were. One of his best friends was killed in that battle and drinks heavily to cope with his experiences of that time. Zama Yaguri, voiced by Kasuke Toriumi, a doctor living in the city of Shinawara and a friend of Marito. Darzana Magbuj, voiced by Ikarino, a captain in the United Forces of Earth. She helps Marito evacuate the civilians while Inaho and his friends distract Trilrum. Her older brother was a friend of Marito, who died in the Battle of Tanegashima, that occurred right before Heaven's fall and seems to blame him for his death. Kanura Mizazaki, voiced by Yashimamura, Captain Magbuj's executive officer in the United Forces of Earth. She takes command of the refugee escort mission when Darzana volunteers to help Marito. Darzana usually tries to give her some dating advice, even in the middle of a battle. Shiga Kake, voiced by Makoto Furukawa, a sergeant in the United Forces of Earth, and one of the volunteers for Lieutenant Marito's rescue crew. Vizempire, Eda Chuo, voiced by Inari Minis, a young Martian girl who serves Princess Asylum as her loyal maid. Unfortunately, she tends to nearly reveal the princess' secret identity on a usual occasion. She takes manners very seriously when people speaks to the princess. Cruteo, voiced by Shah Hayami, a count of the Vizempire and one of the Martian knights who beats slain for any slight, no matter how small. A friend of Swordsborn, but seems unaware that he is one of the conspirators that tried to assassinate the princess. After he brutally tortures Slain for information, he realizes the truth about the princess's assassination attempt. He apologizes to Slain and swears to find the culprits, only to be attacked and killed by Swordsborn. Swordsborn, voiced by Taruo Ekawa, a count of the Vizempire and one of the Martian knights. A friend of Cruteo who has been eager for a rekindled war between Mars and Earth. He's one of the conspirators behind the murder attempt of Princess Asylum. He pilots the cataphract Dioscuria and uses it to attack Cruteo's castle the moment he realizes he has been discovered. He then kills his fellow Martian knight and captures Slain. He reveals that Slain's father saved him during the Heaven's Fall, hence the reason of why he took Slain when he thought Cruteo was going to kill him. The woman he loved died during Heaven's Fall and blames the royal family for her death, so now he wants to kill Asylum and take Earth's resources as a way of revenge. Trilrum, voiced by Takahiro Sakurai, a Martian knight and baron under the Vizempire who enjoys killing Terrans, and also killed fellow Martians who carried out the attempted assassination on Princess Asylum to tie up loose ends. He pilots the cataphract Nilocaras, that possesses a defensive shield that absorbs all types of matter that touch it, until Inaho found its weakness. Later he was shot dead after inadvertently revealing to Slane that he was one of the conspirators. Vlad, voiced by Hiroki Yasumoto, a Martian knight in pursuit of survivors from Shinawara who pilots the Cataphracta Argire, that is a large beam katana, capable of cutting through anything, including explosive rounds shot in its direction. He was forced to retreat after being defeated by Inaho, Calm and Inko. He returns trying to get his revenge and battles Inaho, only to be killed once Inaho uses the power of his sword against him. He makes him fall in the ocean and the temperature of the beams cause a massive steam explosion that obliterates him. For Mayan, voiced by Yuki Kada, a Martian knight who encounters the survivors of Shinawara when they arrive to Tanegashima. She pilots the Cataphracta Hellas, that can shoot its 6 arms as missiles, but act more like drones than actual projectiles. Aside from its fists, the Hellas has no other weapons, which renders it vulnerable to melee attacks. After all 6 of her arms are destroyed by the teamwork of Slane and Inaho, she turns Hellas into a flying platform with 6 engines, only to be crushed by the giant battleship Deucalion controlled by Asylum. She's then finished off by Riot. Raragaliava's Ravers, voiced by Shinji Ogawa, the Martian Emperor and Princess Asylum's grandfather. He founded the Empire in 1972 when the Aldnoah technology recognized him as its master, burning their activation processes into his very genes, giving him supreme authority over them. All of his descendants share this power, and he can give a limited amount of the Aldnoah's powers to others. Utilizing this power monopoly, he created a class of warlords loyal to him who would become the Martian Knights and based the authority of his empire on this military force. He retired in 1997 due to health problems, but when his son and heir Aldnoah.Zero was killed in the War of 1999, he was forced to return to the throne. He's manipulated by Swordsborn into believing that his granddaughter is truly dead, that Slane is a spy of the Terrans and that he must officially rekindle the war on Earth. Episode list, references. External links, official website, Aldnoah.Zero at Anime News Network's Encyclopedia.